I'm going to say that most people may not know that I've spent a huge portion of my life, like every single day, out at pro Supercross and motocross tracks, where that was like everything I woke up for in the morning, had ice, mixed bottles, made sandwiches, full training plans the night before I was out living that. It was really fun. So that's probably one thing that most people don't know. I trained a host of different motocross and supercross racers, which I'm sure I've brought up to people, but sometimes people might think training is what I do now based on proximity, where I have one racer I'm currently working with and I do all of his gym work for him. But back what I'm talking about, when I lived down Temecula, I was up at the track every day, dust all over me and my stuff. Yeah. So there's one thing that people may not know about me.
I remember you telling me that it's not just helping them mix bottles and walk the track and do their gym work. It was also you helping them kind of learn how to shop at Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
learn a little American history. Some of them didn't even know that Prohibition was a thing.
Right.
Some of them grew up in a motorhome, and you know, kudos to the parents that leaned all in and helped raise those athletes.
Right.
I'm not knocking their upbringing, but you know, you play a big role across a wide spectrum of parts of their life.
Yeah, yeah, that is absolutely correct. And it would be funny sometimes talking to them. And also, most of the athletes I worked with were, 15 to 20 years younger than me at the time, at this time when I was doing it every day. And so it was different kind of growing up and just talk about stuff and different, ideas and just be somebody there to offer a different opinion about things. But you are right also in terms of the day to day. And I guess I always think people ask me the difference between a trainer and a coach. And I think as a trainer is somebody who might help you do a specific athletic task to get better at that task or get stronger. But when you start throwing in coaching, it really helps fill in all the other stuff around the sport that you're doing, especially for a pro athlete. Do you always have 3 pair of gloves washed and ready to go each day? So the technicians aren't waiting on you. Or if you fall over in your first session and get your hand totally muddy when the track's wet, do you have 2 more pair? Are you trying to knock it out and dry it off? Is your stuff organized? Do you show up prepared? Do you show up, that's the type of stuff that helps them support in all those other areas. So yeah, that type of stuff was really fun to do too.
Well, the cool thing too is that it applies to cycling and your knowledge from motorcycles, that even it comes from you growing up on tiny motorcycles and then to your present day interaction with motorcycles. It's so much of who you are on a mountain bike and on a bicycle, and
Yeah.
and vice versa. I mean, I know that you race Day in the Dirt or whatever that
Yeah.
event is, that you've done some motorcycle racing yourself or some events yourself, as well as coaching riders. So you do have skills on a motorcycle, but it's the cross breeding or the cross transfer of information is a big part of who you are.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good, thanks for that. Thanks for recognizing that. I would say that's absolutely correct. And I've always thought about, I seem to do well in the area kind of between two systems and helping the communication and bridging the gap and make sure they function smoothly, whether that was giving good feedback from a sponsor who had me ride a part, or being able to actually relay it to both an engineer or also a consumer. Both of those people, which I found out from people who sponsored me over the years, was sometimes a more rare ability to be able to relate to people. And I also think that's why tires have been one of the things I've spent a lot of time in, because it's the communication between your bike and your surface. Probably can have just about one of the single biggest effects of any switchable part, not your frame or fork or whatever that you switch out. So I do seem to be able to be good at communication in those different platforms.
Yeah, and one of your humble characteristics is you're not the best at telling your story or marketing yourself, and your story is amazing. So I think it's important here that we always round out your experience. And I do think we should have trademarked Gription when we were younger. Before
Maybe it's still not trade.
Specialized has it.
Gription, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they have a team of people doing that. So, I mean, we can't feel too bad. We missed one here or there.
KS, how about you? What's something that we wouldn't know about you?
To cook. I like to prepare food, and just more recently, as I have a whole friend network here in the greater Nevada City area that like know nothing about cycling or any of that past, any of my history. We hang out and we do food things. And I've realized more recently in the last few years that I enjoy the process as much as I do the result. So it's like you get in there and you create something. And one of the things I really like to do is just open up the fridge, look in the pantry, and figure out something to make, especially when I hear there's nothing to eat. And then it's almost like a challenge. So yeah, I enjoy cooking and I enjoy sharing it with people.
Nice.